Larry, do you like the new filter, man? Seems like it's working good so far.
Hey everybody, it's Jack and Dan, and today we're going to try to get this filter going, and we're going to try to put it in an indoor pond.
Yeah, so we did a video a few days ago, maybe a week ago, not sure when we uploaded it in comparison to this one, but we built this basically a DIY pond filter out of a planter. What we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be taking off the old filter, putting this filter on. We're gonna leave the old filter kind of sitting ready to go in case there's a problem with this, we can throw it back on. Again, we don't have fish in here yet. This has been going for a few months. The turtles are loving it, they're doing great. We have Stygie out, she's in her little playroom. She likes to run around during the day in my old office. I moved my office over here because I've been wanting to come back over here anyway, and now the pond and everything's over here, and we might be remodeling that room anyway. She's over there hanging out because that's what she likes to do during the day. And she's kind of getting bigger and older and slowing down a little bit, isn't she?
Yeah, she's getting old.
Yeah, so that's like the turtle nursing home up there. She goes and hangs out.
Ancient turtle.
She goes and hangs out over there. These two kick it around all day over here. And then we put her, back over here. But anyway, today we're basically going to be reviewing a tiny little bit of what we did. That was a long video that we did a few days ago, part one. It was like we took you guys to the garden center where we got this stuff, which we're going to be using as a filter medium. We took you guys to Menards. We kind of showed you how we built this whole thing. Today we're going to actually hook it up. We're going to put the little pump down in the corner of the pond over here, and we're going to hook everything up, and we're going to see how it works. I'm excited, man.
Me too.
Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to unhook this FX4 and just kind of move it out of the way. It's going to go over here in the middle of the kitchen area, this in-law suite. We're going to hook the filter up, just stick it in the water and basically hook it up to this, and we're going to put it on this side just to see if there's any kind of leaks or any problems or anything. If all goes well, we will basically bring it around the back, and you'll be able to see it through this inverted 90-gallon. It'll be on the other side underneath the window facing us. And then you'll see the water kind of coming out this spout. But first things first, let's hook it up, see if it leaks. If it's all good and we put it on the other side, Jack's going to be cutting some of this media up, and we're going to be probably putting two stages. We're going to put some small ones down in these little pockets, and then we're going to put one large sheet across the whole thing. This will definitely help to hold it down in the front. We may have to attach it somehow or put some bricks on top of it or something so that it doesn't kind of float up so that the water can go through it. We'll deal with that later. Let's get rid of this big guy here first. Okay, so that's totally awesome. We opened all that up. Kind of moved this drape over. We may just get rid of these drapes because quite honestly, we don't really ever use them. We like the sun to come in here to warm this up, and in the summer we just have it open, and we have a ceiling fan over here and everything to cool it down. That's why we're not too worried about koi. If it's a really hot day, we might close these guys because we don't use the air conditioning a lot. So if we have koi or goldfish or sabunkin or whatever, we're definitely gonna go with the cold water fish. We're not concerned about them overheating though, right? I mean, we're not concerned about them overheating. As far as staying warm, we are gonna have some space heaters over here, but this is also a very warm room because it faces south, and it's where my office is, and I keep it warm because I don't want to freeze all day. But basically what we're going to do is this filter, this little pump that we showed last time that we got on a clearance rack for about a third of the price of what it would have cost if we bought it during the season. We're going to take this guy, we're going to plug it in back there, we're going to sink it down, we're going to hook the tube up to it. It does have an adjustment, so we can turn it down. I mean, if it's like spraying out of here like a sprinkler, So we're going to get that all set up. We're just going to kind of make sure it works good and that it doesn't leak. And if everything's cool, we're going to put it behind there. So here we go. All right, this is this amazing pump that we found on clearance like we talked about. We're going to it comes kind of assembled. Basically, this is just a big cover to cover the impeller. So you can put that on there. You can kind of face it the way that you want. You can move it to face it the way that you want. I think pretty much what we're going to do is face it down like this to have the cord come up the wall kind of situation. So it's going to pretty much go pointed up. I'm trying to figure it out here. There we go. It's going to kind of go like this in the corner. This is going to come out. This is going to go up. This is a little kind of a pre-screen type of thing that goes on here so nothing gets sucked to it. And then this is going to suck the water in.
You don't have any problems with it? no gravel and anything.
Right, you don't want things getting sucked in. You don't want fish getting sucked in there. It's a nice little net. It works pretty good. It won't suck in small fish, stuff like that. Now, we did get this kind of like a little pre-filter thing that we could stretch over this, or if we wanted, instead of using this, we could take this off and put something like this instead. I'm not super concerned about this because we're going to have pretty large fish and turtles. And this is very similar to the pre-filter we have on our 110s in our big tank. And it works really good. Food gets stopped in there and stuff like that. It's just not necessary. This is a massive filter, so I don't think we're going to use it. We kind of got it as a backup. I think this is going to be perfectly fine. It's going to suck the water in. Now, for the outlet, what we're going to do is this guy goes on here, okay? And this is a control valve. It's just kind of hard to screw on, actually. I remember we had problems in the previous video. There we go. You got to really line it up good. This is kind of like a control valve. So while this little guy is sitting down in the water, if the filter, let's say, is too powerful, we can actually reach in and we can turn this little dial. We're going to start off with it being pretty low. You can see there's a little valve in there that kind of controls that. We're going to start off with it being pretty low and just turn it up. The nice part about that is this is a pretty powerful pump. And if we start off not all the way up, as the medium starts to fill and stuff like that, you can then, over the course of weeks or days, open it up more until you have time to clean it to keep that flow going. So that's kind of a nice little addition. Again, this was a very impressive pump. It would have been 3 to 4 times what we paid for it since we found it on the clearance thing at Mark's. Gotta love Mark's. Okay, what we did is we took this little valve off of the pump there because we wanted to screw it into this. Now, we talked about this a little bit in the store. This is the corrugated tubing that we are going to use to bring the water by the pump out of the pond and attach it to the back of the filter here, okay? It's 20 feet long. We'll probably end up cutting it. We're not going to cut it yet. It is really strong rubber tubing, and it just barely fits on here. I had a really difficult time kind of screwing it on. What happened is the threads of this actually dug into this rubber and kind of screwed on. I can barely get it off or unscrew it. So that's really awesome because that means it's just in here really good. Probably not going to have to use a clamp or anything like that. If because of the water, the heat, or the cold or something, if it does come off, we of course could clamp it. So now I'm basically just going to screw this onto the pump, which this is nice that this comes off because now I can just screw this onto the pump. It's just less cables and things to deal with. So then you get this on here, and I'm gonna put this back onto the pump, and this is all connected. We're gonna submerge this. We're gonna stick the other side of this basically out the door here, just to see what kind of flow we have. And then we're gonna measure it and hang it on to the back of this pump right here. Right here is where it's gonna go. All right, so we got this all hooked up. Larry's eating the bone over here. Can you see him eating the bone?
Yeah.
He's getting frustrated. He's like, what are you guys doing? Basically, just turn this on about halfway. So we got it all hooked up, turn it on about halfway. He's so cute when he tries to eat that bone. It's as big as him. Turn it on about halfway because we don't want to overdo it. We're sinking this down to the corner. Again, when we get this all kind of in place, we're most likely going to put a brick or something on it so they don't mess with it, because turtles are real big on messing with stuff. That's another reason why we'll never really have to vacuum the gravel in here. Turtles are going to dig, right?
Yeah.
They're always digging. So this filter, when they dig up and get stuff, will filter out those particles and will suck it in. Now, what we may do, which we thought about, is we may take that smaller little pond pump and we may use it kind of like as a wave maker. We may put it on the other side and have it shoot this way so that the water moves around a circle. We noticed when we did that with the FX, we put the intake over here and the water kind of went around in a circle. That seemed to help it stay really clean, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like that movement of the water. To rotate
it, yeah.
So since this filter is just going to be like dumping in one spot, we may hook that other one up so that it kind of does that. We'll see. We may mess around with that today. We may do it in the future, see how it works. But go ahead and I'm going to turn this on. Follow out to the outside there so you can see where that is. Again, this is halfway on, guys. 800 gallons an hour. Let's go ahead and turn it on. That's kind of priming. Coming out?
Yeah, it's coming on.
Oh yeah. So that's pretty good. That's about halfway on. We did try it full way on and it was like shooting right over those plants, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we're gonna leave it halfway on for now. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. We're gonna take it out so it doesn't siphon the pond down, because it'll just continue to siphon. We just want to show you how powerful it was. So what we're gonna do is we're basically going to figure out how we want it, and we're gonna cut this cord, hook it up to the back, and we'll show you that. And then we'll turn it on and see how it works. Okay, come on over here, let me see the camera. So you can see it's filling. We have it on the lowest setting, and it's still kind of filling a little bit. We just want to make sure this didn't leak. We got that clamp on, and I don't see any water. Push this up all the way and put this clamp on, and it's filling. Now what we're probably going to do is we're going to turn that up a little bit. Go ahead on the other side, go around the other side with the camera and kind of show this from there. We're going to kind of turn it up. I don't have it exactly centered or anything. Let me move it because it'll be hard to move once it fills up. This is probably, keep coming around here so you can see it. I'm going to have it kind of hanging off the back a little bit. Again, it, oops, there it goes, so splashing a little bit. So, I don't know, how many gallons do you think this thing holds? 10 gallons?
Yeah, probably. That's
Yeah.
a good estimate.
I mean, maybe even more. It's almost the size of our 20 long, but it's tapered and stuff. So we have it on the lowest setting that there is, and it's filling really nicely. So far it doesn't look like any leaks.
Or it looks like it's starting to come out now. It's filling in the hole.
Okay, it's reaching the white part.
We have no output yet, but it's coming in.
Yeah, we got that big rubber thing. Show the front here.
It's breaching.
I don't see any kind of leaks or anything yet. Cool, man. All
It's
right,
actually a good speed.
well, this is low. We're gonna turn it up. Because you gotta remember, it's gotta come through all that medium and stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna reach down here. I'm gonna turn it up a little more. Let's turn it up just like all the way to see what happens. Just to kind of see. Now remember, there's gonna be medium below this.
It looks like a sewer output.
That's pretty cool though. That's kind of what we wanted.
Oh, Larry's looking at
Now
the...
this is what I was concerned about.
pump.
See how the air's going in the vacuum?
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna have to watch. We're gonna have to turn
Yeah.
it down a little bit because we want air going in the tank. We don't want air. We may have to back it up. So we'll probably end up backing it up so that it doesn't do that, so we don't lose all the vacuum. This shoots out a little more than I thought. So those are the things we're gonna have to titrate. So here's what we're gonna do. So far this looks pretty awesome. Go ahead through and look through the tank to see what it looks like.
Oh, it looks sick.
Look pretty neat. So anyway, preliminarily wise, it seems like it's working pretty good. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut that stuff over there. And we're gonna get that in here. And we're gonna try to titrate all the settings and see how it all works, man. Pretty cool, huh?
Yep.
Okay, so we measured our foam, and what we're gonna do here, we're gonna cut it straight across. We're gonna make one big piece. We're gonna have to trim a little bit across here. And I think we're gonna cut this into some pieces, and what we plan on doing here, this actually has really turned out nice. I didn't think it would kind of shoot out as much with that angle, so we had to kind of move this back. Again, the reason we don't want air to go into here is because it'll lose the vacuum. As the air goes in, this tank will then lower down and overflow our main one. Obviously, that would be bad, right? We don't want to overflow the pond. So, everything at this point in time looks like it's doing pretty good. We may or may not put anything on there. It is pretty heavy, and we kind of got these guys twisted around the right way where it'll probably just sit still. So it's taken the water, it's taken it out. We're taking it behind here. This looks like it's doing really good. It doesn't look like, I'm gonna kind of turn sideways here a little bit. Doesn't look like anything's leaking, and it's coming out all those holes, and it's coming up, and it's just taking that overflow. I think it really works good. What we're gonna do with that end piece that we have extra is we're gonna put smaller pieces down inside this area, and then the larger piece is gonna be 4 inches of that medium. So obviously that'll slow this down. I only have this on about 1/3 of the way or 1/4 of the way right now. So after we put the medium in, obviously we'll have to adjust that and turn it up on this little nozzle here. But so far I'm actually pretty excited with it. I think we may put some bricks on top. We do have some gray bricks like this left over. We'll probably take some of the smaller ones, like these little guys here, and maybe just kind of put them on top to kind of hold everything down. Again, you're not really gonna see it when you're looking through here. You're only gonna see that spout. I really love the sound too, don't you, man?
Yeah, it's nice.
Larry was over there swimming through the bubbles, trying to bite the bubbles and stuff, weren't you, Larry? You're so funny. He's very interested. So again, we're letting the algae grow on this wall because we don't actually see it. That'll help to remove nitrates by having that plant life. And we're letting the algae grow on the sides because the lights are right there. First of all, it's gonna be very hard to keep it off. And that's where the little stations are. And we're just using that magnet cleaner. We did just clean this. We did a whole video about how we clean it and how we refurbished the old magnet. And it works really awesome. It takes literally just a minute or two to do the front, minute or two to do the back, and then we can see right through it. So that's really cool. Of course, we have all the lights on. We'll turn the lights off when we get it done, just to kind of show you guys what these things are, because a lot of people ask. These are the scales from the turtles. Their scales peel off every now and then. They get new scales. Anybody who has turtles knows that. So you just grab them with your hand and take them out. They can get they'll get sucked to the filter and you just take them out. We may or may not leave some of this algae on the sides. We're not sure. That's from the lights. We don't really mind it. Again, we're trying to have this, whole thing be. Now, our plans are, not only are we going to have aquaponics on both of these walls where we use the water from this, is we were probably going to take this whole huge thing here. Groot's probably going to move with his little bamboo sprout here coming out of his head. And we're going to fill this with some soil and we're going to grow microgreens on top of this. We've done videos before on broccoli sprouts and we usually grow them in jars, but having a huge pallet of them like this, you can just come up with your scissors, chop, 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 take a bunch, put them in a salad. Broccoli sprouts are one of the highest in antioxidants of any sprout that you can eat. They're very cheap to buy seeds. And what'll happen if you cut them off is they'll just regrow. And so you can just cut off a section at a time. You can put them on sandwiches. You like them on a big sandwich, don't you?
Yeah.
Like a big black bean burger. We did a video where we did broccoli sprouts on like a Dr. Prager's burger. Remember that?
Yes, I do. That was a while ago.
Oh, it's delicious. You're almost through that? Not easy to cut through that, is it?
No.
Those are some pretty tough scissors too. So we're going to have to measure. We're going to cut down the side a little bit. Maybe I'll do the side for you. That's going to be a longer avenue. But yeah, it's starting to get really exciting. So you can see on this side, we're just going to let this gravel all grow. Now, obviously, when we put shabunkin or goldfish or whatever in here, if this starts to get long in here, they're going to eat it, which is actually totally fine. They're not going to eat it all, but they're going to eat parts of it. But I'm digging it. I'm digging it so far. This project is coming along very exciting. So the plan is probably some microgreens on the top, tomatoes and stuff on this wall. We may even have zucchini and stuff like that growing. And then, of course, we have this wall over here. It's a little shorter because of the door, but we can, do that. And if it's not enough light, this is a north-facing window, so the light in the morning is, of course, against this wall. Then it moves across, and then in the evening, it's against that wall. So everything gets kind of even light. The tank, of course, gets the most right in front of the window. Look at that funny picture of Kame. Looks like she's peeing with the spout there, suspended in midair in the inverted tank. Super exciting. All right, let's get this medium going here. I'm going to trim along that side, and we're going to get it in the filter. Okay, so it's not the easiest stuff to cut, but it's not impossible, right?
No, it's a pretty thick web.
You need a good pair of scissors. Yeah. So we have it measured. It fits great. We just put a little notch to go around the drain. We'll probably stick a piece in there, like to fit around the drain. But that's done. So we have all these remnants left over. This is the mess it makes. We're gonna have to clean this whole room up. We've got a strip. We also have this big piece. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut some pieces because they're gonna go in first because we want to make this like a double layer. So they're gonna go down, kind of like down in here. So we're gonna try to fit some in there and then put the big one. They're gonna go through 4 inches of medium there. And again, if it slows down as it fills, we can turn that up and get this, cranking out nice and big, because it's really only about a third of the way up right now. These guys are watching us. Oh, I just spooked them a little bit. So here's what we did. We cut those 3 smaller pieces and they set down into the, in the barriers there. So those went in first, and it did cut down the flow a little bit, not much. Go ahead and hand me that one, buddy. Hand me the one side, and you take the other side. You're gonna have to come in a little bit there. And this one then is going to, of course, go into the whole thing. We're gonna have to cut a, well, maybe not cut a much of a bigger notch. It's gonna go down underneath this. I'm trying to do it while I hold the camera. There we go. And wedge down in. There we go. So we're gonna have to obviously adjust this a little bit. We're gonna cut that a little bigger, and then we're gonna stick a piece behind it. But that's basically how it's gonna go, and all that water's gonna come through it. We may put like a brick here, just kind of in the middle where that brace was, and one over there just to kind of hold the whole thing down, just to make sure it doesn't like float up or anything. But we did make it a little big, so it kind of wedged in. You can see how it's pressing up against the sides. So we're gonna kind of adjust this a little bit here, get it down in nicely, stick something in the back here, and let it run for a little bit, and then we'll kind of adjust the flow, see where we're at here. But overall, it's coming out pretty awesome, I think. All right, so we got this all down in here, looks really good. It is kind of concave, so we really kind of had to wedge it in here. You can see part of it's a little sticking out of the water. We might trim it a little more. We might just take like a big rock or a brick on it to lay it down. We're not sure. For now, it's cool. Took a big rectangle piece like this and kind of wedged it down in there to fill that little gap. So that was easy. We did notice the flow turned down. We've kind of been tapering it up and down. As more beneficial bacteria grows, we might have to adjust it. Obviously, we don't want it to go too much because we'll lose the vacuum. What do you think? Do you think it looks pretty awesome, dude?
Yeah, it's nice. It really, like, the pipe doesn't look too industrial. It looks like a nice little waterfall in there.
It's cool how it just shoots out of there. I mean, we're, like I said, we're going to have to play around with the intake and all that kind of stuff. The turtles swim around so much, I don't know that we're going to necessarily have to do a wave maker kind of thing with the other pond filter or not, because you could see they just dig up the gravel. There's places where it's really deep. There's places where there's hardly any. That's just what turtles do, right? I mean, they're gonna kind of do their thing. But I think with this all set up, it should be pretty cool. Again, we're gonna be doing water changes. We talked about all that. Now, what I may do tomorrow on my lunch break, probably gonna just clean that guy out on the patio before I clean it out. It has big, long foam pieces just like that. I'll probably take one or two of them, kind of wring it out in here, let that kind of come in here to, start this new filter. But probably unnecessary, but we'll do it anyway. This is kind of a mess, so we're gonna have to clean this up, right? I mean, this is just...
Kind of looks like Santa got a haircut.
Like Santa's barber shop right here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but when you cut this stuff, it makes a mess. Most of this, we're just throwing to recycle. A couple of these bigger pieces we'll probably keep. We may be able to even use these in some of our aqua clear or something like that as backup sponges, or, when we go to clean it, we could just swap them out and then put one of these in while the other one is being cleaned instead of having, anyway, extra stuff's good. So what we're gonna do now is just gonna kind of clean everything up, put everything away, put it all in the fish closet and all that kind of stuff. But so far, we're really, really digging how it came out, and it's very, very exciting. All right, guys, so there it is. You can see it right through the inverted tank there. It's doing pretty good. We're just gonna kind of keep adjusting it and messing with it. We may scoot it back, we may turn it up. Huge storm today. It started raining again. It's been thundering all day. So it was actually a perfect day to do this. It's actually the last day of summer. You start high school tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I do.
You guys probably aren't seeing this for a few weeks after we do it, or a couple weeks after. This is actually the last day of summer. It was totally crappy. You can see it pouring right there in the window behind Groot. So we just figured we'd finish this up. This has been a long project. We kind of been working on this for like 7 or 8 months, kind of on and off. But the turtles are digging it, and everything seems real cool. We'll continue to do follow-ups on it, and continue to change things around and kind of do videos when we add fish and all that kind of stuff. But for now, we're digging this filter. We think it's really awesome. Hopefully it continues to work really good, just like that FX did.
It was nice that we put it together in not even a week.
Yeah, it was like a little bit here, a little bit there over a couple weekends, and we think it came out pretty awesome. Cost us about a third of what a real big actual pond filter would cost, and it's going to do the same job. So, move some things around. This is all open now. We got the little alien bobblehead guy over here. Where's he at? There he is. Kind of teasing Larry. Like, come get me, Larry. Larry's a mischievous little guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. What is he?
He's
on the rock.
Oh, he's on the rock. Let me show him. He had enough of swimming around. Oh, now he's gonna try to jump in. Say bye, Larry. Are you happy with your new filter? He loves it in here, man. Kame and iStidgy, I mean, they just love it. We're gonna be doing a video on Larry's original humans too, coming up. And again, if you haven't seen some of our videos, we always put our aquarium playlist right first thing in the description. You can click on it, you can scroll through, you can see how we did all the stages of this, some videos on this, and of course, any of the other tanks and everything that we build, which is why we always put the playlist in there. So you can check it out if you want to see. We've been doing YouTube coming up on 4 years now.
Yeah, just about.
Coming up on 4 years now. It's a lot of times. We've been doing tanks and aquariums ever since I was 4. Jack, of course, was born into it.
That was the work email.
That's my email. It's my work email.
So
Yeah,
that's,
Sunday night. Getting the emails already from work. But it's going to be nice being over here listening to the new pond, waterfall while I work and everything. This is a great room, and I'm going to really enjoy it. So listen, guys, we will see you next time. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell so you don't miss future videos. We're going to be doing a lot of updates coming up. We'll see you next time, guys.
Bye-bye.
How do you like it, Lace? Do you like the pond? You like the filter? Wanna check it out? Go check it out. And go see Larry. Gonna go see Larry? He's sitting on the rock. No, she doesn't want to come see you, Larry. She doesn't want to see you. She's jealous of you guys, aren't you? Aren't you, Lace? Jealous when we spend time working on the tanks, huh? Say bye. Yeah, say bye.